Jason Files. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Jason Files writes, so what would it take to get Watson? How much would you give up to get Watson? I already told you. I've said this before. He demanded a trade. First of all, I didn't think he was getting traded. I said that, and I offered up a double. And I told you, when he gets traded, I'll offer up a double up. I still, there's this outside chance that he doesn't get traded because I told you guys from the jump, he doesn't have any leverage other than he doesn't want to play for the Texans. So what? So what? You don't want to play. You're under contract. I own your rights. If you don't want to play for us, you play for nobody. They could play hardball if they want. Theoretically speaking, that doesn't do anyone any good. As a franchise, you never want to hold a guy hostage. If he doesn't want to be there, why would you want a guy that doesn't want to be there? But technically speaking, if they said, this is the price, this is where we start, and the price only goes up from there, and nobody meets it, I'm not trading. I'm not giving him away just because he wants out. He's got two options. Either you can show up or you can not show up. And if you don't show up, that comes with a price tag. One that he's not trying to pay. And as the CBA clearly states, and I've already, laid all of this out for you on the podcast, you don't get to waive these fines anymore. The league has mandated in the CBA that if a guy holds out that is under contract and you accrue fines, you must pay those fines. In the past, prior CBAs, when a guy holds out and the team and the guy come together and they sing Kumbaya, they say, don't worry about those fines. You're good. You can't do that anymore. If a guy accrues $2.5 million worth of fines, he's got to pay $2.5 million to the team. There's no getting around that. So, in essence, what I'm telling you, and Adam Schefter laid it out again today, but I've been talking about this before this thing got real. Like, the Texans hold all the cards. They control this whole scenario because they don't have to do anything. They don't have to do anything. This isn't the old CBA where if a guy holds out, he's got leverage, he can play hardball. He can't do anything. If they say, hey, Deshaun, look, man, we fielded some calls. None of these offers were serious. We're not giving you away, dude. We want you here. And he's like, I don't want to play here. Well, okay, we hear you, but what we're telling you is you don't have a choice. You can retire. But if you unretire, we still own your rights. So you can do whatever you like, man. But we're just telling you, we're not trading you. Sorry. Nobody's really offering us what we're looking for. As far as what it's going to take, I think if I'm the Texans, it starts at 3 first-round picks. 3 first-round picks is where it starts. It probably ends with me getting one of your star players or young and up-and-coming players that's on a rookie deal. Again, if I'm dealing with Washington, I want 3 first-round picks, and I want Montez Sweat. If I'm dealing with Carolina, I want 3 first-round picks, and I want Brian Burns. And so forth and so forth. If I'm dealing with San Francisco, I want 3 first-round picks, and I want Javon Kinlaw. One of those types of guys. That's how I would operate this thing. They just drafted Brown, or that's Carolina. So yeah, I want Javon Kinlaw. I want that guy. Or and they're not giving up Bosa, but I want Nick Bosa. It's one of those guys. It's something like that. Like, you've got to make it tough on the team. They're not looking to make it easy. I want Nick Bosa coming off of ACL. I want him to pair with J.J. Watt. That's how this thing ends, more likely than not. It starts at 3 first-rounders. Anything less would be uncivilized if you're Houston. Anything less than 3 first-round picks is uncivilized. So I think that's what it's going to take, ultimately. How much would I give up? I'd give up 3 first-round picks. I already stated that. I'm not giving up any young talent. That's where I draw the line. Because, again, essentially, I would treat this like the Robert Griffin III trade. Everybody tried to make it seem like it was 3 first-round picks. Oh my God, you traded for three first-round picks. And it really was 2. Why? Because you used that first pick that you got from the Rams. You just swapped to get Robert Griffin III, and then you gave up 2 additional first-round picks. I would view it in the same way. If I'm getting Deshaun Watson, that's the equivalent of me getting Watson at 19. So I would then view it as, okay, I just gave up 2 first-round picks for Deshaun Watson. Because he's better than anybody I was getting at 19 this year. And I'm reaping the benefits of it right now. So it'd be the 2 first-rounders after that when you really feel it. But if you're winning ball games and you're winning at a high clip, you're not going to be thinking about those first-round picks. You'll be like, man, to hell with them shits. We got Deshaun Watson. So I give up 3 first. I'm not giving up. Where I got to draw the line is I can't let you eat into my young talent. Can't let you do that. Got another super chat here from King of the North. Thank you for the super chat, King of the North. Greatly appreciate you. King of the North writes, buying a shortcut to the Super Bowl rarely works. Facts. Big facts. Unless it's Brady, LOL. Touche. Touche. That being said, do you think this roster could win a Super Bowl with defense? Watson and free agents at wide receiver and middle linebacker. Yeah, I do. Like, Watson changes the game, which is why I don't have a problem entertaining the whole discussion of Deshaun Watson. The only problem I have, and I gave you the numbers, and I'm going to chop up my podcast, so you don't have to worry about going and sitting through the whole thing. I'm going to put out some shorts over the next couple of days from the podcast I did last night, but I gave you numbers. He's a very affordable quarterback for the next 5 years. Everything you want in a quarterback, Deshaun Watson is. He's a great guy off the field. He's an even better player on it. I might have that backwards. He might be an even better ambassador off the field. He's a hell of a player on it. We don't see players his caliber changing teams at this point of his career. Sure, just like we saw with Tom Brady, and we're going to see eventually with Aaron Rodgers, and we saw with Peyton Manning, eventually, at some point, you're going to switch teams at the end of your career if you want to keep playing, because that team has to move on, and you're not ready to. However, this guy is not even in the prime of his career. He's 26 years old. 26! You're getting a guy going into the apex of his career. He hasn't even hit it yet. He's just scratching the surface. The man led the league in passing yards this season with a ragtag bunch. He was throwing the football in weeks 13 through 17 to Justin Watson. Who the hell is Justin Watson? And Kiki QT. Those were his 2 primary targets, with a smatter and sprinkle of Brandon Cooks when he was healthy. What are we talking about here? And he had them in every single ball game except 2 down the stretch. So, you know what you're getting with Watson. If he's healthy, he's a top 5 quarterback. We've already gone through this exercise. It's hard for me to bring myself to giving up what it's going to take to get him. And you know what? I could get past the draft compensation. 3 first rounders, that sucks. But if I know I'm getting Deshaun Watson for the next 14 years at Hall of Fame level, which that's what he's trending towards right now, I wouldn't hesitate to do that for 3 first round picks. I don't want to do this. Listen to me. I don't want to do that. But I know what I'm getting. However, I think they're going to be greedy, and they should be. I'd advocate for them to be very greedy. I think they're going to say, hey, I want Montez Sweat too. That's where I got to draw the line, because now you're eating away at the one thing we're banking on. That no matter what happens, this defense is going to be the catalyst. You add Deshaun Watson, and it elevates this offense to another level, but you still want this defense to be elite. You take Montez Sweat off of it, and it's not elite, because now you don't have the tag team element. Tag team, back again. You don't have one on each side. So now all I got to do is make sure we block 99. Don't have to worry about anybody else. That's the problem. That's what makes this defense tough to stop, is that, hey, if you're blocking 99, 90 can still get your ass. You're still in trouble. It could be one or the other. I don't see us giving up 3 first-round picks. I don't want to do it. But if they did it, I wouldn't be as pissed as some of you, because I know what I'm getting. I would only be pissed, and where I draw the line is when you start coming after my young assets. That's when I got to say, okay, enough's enough. Can't do this. I don't want to do Montez Sweat in 2 first-round picks. I damn sure don't want to do Montez in 3. I don't want any of my young stuff going anywhere. Period. So, that's kind of how I feel. But could we win you're damn right we could win a Super Bowl. If we just gave up 3 first-round picks, nothing else, no seconds, none of that extra shit that everybody's talking about. If we just gave up 3 first-round picks, yeah, it's going to sting. I'm not a dummy. I understand that, right? But think about it. You're not getting Deshaun Watson at 19 this year, okay? If he's on your team and we think he's as good as we know he's what he is, and he continues to play at the level that he's been playing at these last couple of years and where he's trending, and the defense is intact and they're as good as we think they are, with Deshaun Watson at quarterback, that first-round pick is going to be in the 20s somewhere next year, and it's going to be there again the year after that. So I wouldn't mind. It's when you start talking about, 3 firsts, 2 seconds. Now I'm like, okay, ho. Come on now. Shit. Wait a minute. Let's talk about this. You want my first and my second for the next 2 years, and you want another first the year after that? Yikes. It's one thing to not be in the first round. It's another thing to not be in the first and the second round. Again, you have to draw the line somewhere. I'll give up 3 picks for Deshaun Watson. They just happen to be first rounders. Fine, whatever. I'll do that. Stay away from my players and stay away from the second rounders too. You know what I mean? You got to draw the line somewhere.
Louie.